brief. I know you've had a long hearing and I've had to duck in and out, but I was reading through the posture statement under cyber capabilities, and it reminded me of issue that I've been dealing with here. Your Navy counterpart, Admiral Greenert, in December 2012, wrote an article entitled "Imminent Domain," where he said the electromagnetic spectrum cyber environment is now so fundamental to military operations and so critical to our national interests that we must start treating it as a warfighting domain on a par with, or perhaps even more important than, land, sea, air, and space. Future wars, he said, will not be won simply by effectively using the electromagnetic spectrum in cyberspace. They will be won within that electromagnetic cyber domain. And all of this will require a fresh approach in thinking about modern warfare. Given our need for efficiencies in the department and the resources which have to be very carefully managed to meet our budget goals, I'm just wondering what your response to that is, and whether or not this opens the opportunity for joint efforts, which I think go across all the services here. We have a center in Naval Army Center in Indiana that primary focus on the Navy side is this electromagnetic spectrum and the work that goes on there. Admiral Greenert has visited. General Amos from the Marine Corps is interested. The Army Secretary has visited, and others. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention, maybe get your response to that. Is this something that we need to, and you need to increasingly put focus and perhaps resources, and there's an opportunity, in my opinion, to do this across the services?
Sir, there's no doubt in my mind that that the electromagnetic spectrum is of vital importance to our military, and it deserves and gets careful attention from the Department of Defense. And when necessary, we also work with other national agencies that are responsible for managing this, FCC and others, to make sure DoD equities are protected in the spectrum. Electronic warfare is a vital part of what we do in the military. Protecting the spectrum for communications of all kinds across our military range of operations is vital to our work. And in some cases where we lose spectrum, it drives costs to the Department of Defense, and including the United States Air Force, when we have to make modifications to aircraft and other communication systems to adjust. So we're very mindful of the importance of this. And we do share and discuss with other branches like the Navy, Army as well, on electronic warfare capabilities. We're interdependent in this work, and this is one of the areas that we have in common, especially with the Navy, in the air-sea battle concept, where we both have an interest in this kind of work. I'll let the Chief amplify, sir, if you'd like.
So I completely agree with the Secretary and with John Greenert. Cyber is another domain that gives us access to do certain things, whether it's intelligence collection, command and control, or actually non-kinetic strike. The electromagnetic spectrum, as the joint community sees it, gets to be a little bit more specific in terms of mission area, although it encompasses everything, as you mentioned. EA-18Gs, EA-6Bs are absolutely essential to Air Force strike capabilities, and we are interconnected with the Navy in a major way in this effort.
Good. Secondly, let me just ask this brief question. Since the F-35 is a replacement for the A-10, is it your expectation what is your expectation relative to modernizing or not modernizing A-10, depending on what the rollout schedule is for the F-35?
Again, defer to the Chief for more specifics, but in general, as there continues to be pressure on Air Force resources and force structure, including the fighter force structure going forward, we're likely to favor fighter capabilities that involve multi-role capabilities. And in this regard, the A-10 offers more specialized capabilities, and in this case, an older capability that may or may not be with us for an extended period of time. A-10 provides great air-to-ground support. They've done tremendous work in Iraq and Afghanistan and in other operations in close air support to ground forces. But as we go forward, there will be more pressure, I think, for multi-role capabilities like provided by the Joint Strike Fighter. But Chief, if you have any more to add.
No, sir, I really don't. As the Secretary mentioned, we'll have a mixed force for a while, and the A-10 is uniquely capable at its mission. It just is not as capable at multiple other missions. So over time, the intent is to replace it with the F-35 because we just can't afford both anymore.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.